decisions that affect WA's mining industry affect most of us, I think it would be fair to say. That's why when we read this morning that BHP has been ordered to pay workers an average $30,000 more after defeat in a landmark Labor hire ruling, we thought we better say good day to Aaron Morey, WA Chamber of Commerce and Industry Acting CEO, to talk about the effect of this Fair Work decision on WA's mining industry. Aaron, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mark.
Now, this is from Queensland, but it will knock on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, this sets a precedent that will ripple across the national economy, and I would say this goes beyond mining. This certainly, strikes at many of the ambitions and initiatives that we're interested in this state, whether it's investing in clean and renewable infrastructure, as you rightly say, the mining sector, but also into defence and advanced manufacturing. These are all sectors that rely on service contractors to provide that labour support and specialist services at different times of the year. And so, the impacts of this go well beyond any one company or any one sector.
Okay, so in short, correct me if I'm wrong, BHP has been ordered to pay labour hire workers, and this is at, I think it's 3 Queensland coal mines, the same as their directly employed counterparts. And BHP had said, and I think continues to say, and you probably, I would say no doubt agree, that changes to industrial relations law like this could risk jobs.
Oh, look, absolutely. I mean, the WA economy relies on service contractors to a significant extent. I mean, we are a project-based economy that has, swings and roundabouts, seasonal influences that dictate when labour is required, heavy industry that requires specialist services, but only at particular times. And so, for example, maintenance services for large, diesel-fuelled machines, for example, it just makes much more sense. It's much more efficient for the WA economy to have these sorts of services provided by service contractors, specialist service contractors. And now, so what we see is that model is now under threat, and it is just another example of government policy that's making our economy less competitive. And that's really important, Mark. I mean, look, we're fighting for global capital. We want investors to bring their investments here to WA. And this is just another example of some public policy that makes it harder to attract that investment.
So is this, Aaron, the first test, if you like, of the same job, same pay, the policy you speak of? Is it the first time that it's been tested, and does the result prove that it's here to stay?
Look, it's certainly the test of the so-called service contractor exemption. And this is very disappointing because, we had commitments from government right at the beginning of this process that this same job, same pay area of law would be very limited in its scope. What we now know is that is absolutely not the case. That what we see now is a provision that applies very broadly across the economy. And so in our view, it's now incumbent upon the government to rectify this, to introduce a legislative fix, to make sure that we can pull back the scope of this provision to what the government had originally intended, which was far more limited in nature.
Yeah, it's sort of got lost in the interpretation in some ways, hasn't it? What it was meant to be, a little more far-reaching than was intended. Is that fair?
Oh, far more far-reaching. I mean, if I look at some of the some of the impact statements from their department early days, the department itself acknowledged that the issues that this area of law, this provision was looking to address are extremely limited in nature. Are limited in scope. And so, we've very much taken the sledgehammer to a walnut. These apply incredibly broadly. They go well beyond trying to address any sort of public policy problem. And look, there's still an opportunity here for the government to rectify this. We now know that their intent to carve out service contractors has not worked. And so, there's an opportunity for the government to get this right, and we'll work constructively with them to do that.